Barack Obama says Charlie Kirk's ideas were wrong after the activist's comments about Michelle Obama resurface. Former President Barack Obama has weighed in on the national debate surrounding the death of conservative activist Charlie Kirk, delivering a measured yet forceful message that has been widely seen as a defining moment in the public discourse. Speaking at a Jefferson Educational Society event in Erie, Pennsylvania, Obama offered a nuanced perspective on the tragic event, mourning Kirk's passing as a human being while simultaneously rejecting the divisive ideas he promoted. Mourning a life, rejecting the ideology. Obama began his remarks by expressing profound sympathy for the Kirk family. He acknowledged the horror of what had transpired and extended his condolences, highlighting the human cost of political violence. Regardless of where you are on the political spectrum, what happened to Charlie Kirk was horrific and a tragedy, he said. He emphasized that Kirk was a young man with 2 small children and a wife, and that his death was a loss that should be mourned. However, Obama did not stop there. He immediately pivoted to a direct and unequivocal critique of Kirk's most controversial and inflammatory ideas, which have resurfaced in the days following his death. The former president specifically called out Kirk's past comments on his wife, former First Lady Michelle Obama, and Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson. Kirk had asserted on his podcast that these highly accomplished black women, both graduates of Harvard, lacked the brain processing power to be taken seriously. Obama minced no words in his rebuttal. "I can say that I disagree with the suggestion that my wife or Justice Jackson does not have adequate brain processing power," he stated, adding that while he was generally aware of Kirk's views, he believed them to be wrong. This moment was a powerful demonstration of Obama's ability to maintain a sense of decorum and empathy while refusing to let harmful rhetoric go unchallenged. He made it clear that a commitment to nonviolence and civility does not require a surrender of fundamental principles or a silent acceptance of falsehoods. A broader warning on political discourse. Obama's comments in Erie were part of a larger conversation about the state of American democracy and the dangerous turn of political rhetoric. He called the current moment an inflection point for the nation, warning that the country is at a crossroads. He criticized the current administration's response to Kirk's death, which he said came from the White House and some of the other positions of authority that suggest, even before we had determined who the perpetrator of this evil act was, that somehow we're going to identify an enemy. He added that this tendency to immediately cast blame on a political opponent and use that as a rationale for trying to silence discussion is a mistake that further erodes the fabric of the nation. Without naming names, he took a thinly veiled shot at President Donald Trump and his allies for their rhetoric, including the use of terms like vermin and enemies to describe their political opponents. In his remarks, Obama called on leaders to bring people together, not to sow division. He stressed that a healthy democracy requires the ability to have vigorous debate and to disagree without turning on one another. He praised Republican leaders like Utah Governor Spencer Cox who have called for civility and unity in the wake of the tragedy, proving that bipartisan cooperation is still possible. Ultimately, Obama's address served as a powerful reminder that while the country must come together to condemn political violence, it must also continue to debate the ideas that divide it. His willingness to mourn Charlie Kirk's death while simultaneously denouncing his ideology has been praised by many as a model for how to navigate a moment of immense national tragedy and political division.